Hi everyone, so in this video we're going to go over some problems that are similar to what's in Unit 1 Part 2 of your test. So as you're watching this video, it's a good idea if you have ClassKick open so that you can follow along with me. Keep in mind that the problems I'm doing are not the same ones that are in your assignment. I'm doing problems that are similar, so please don't cut and paste what I post on the board here into your assignment. Please work through the problems on your own, but use these problems that I'm working through as a model to help guide you in your problem solving process. So let's think about this for a second. What are the steps to solving this equation? So here we have a multi-step equation with a variable on both sides. It has the problem already worked out for us. But let's think about what we're doing in each step as we work through solving this problem. So remember, we had that mnemonic, don't call me after midnight. That kind of reminded us our problem solving steps. So let's look at this. In step 1, the problem goes from -3 times 4x plus 7 equals 2x plus 7 to -12x plus -21 equals 2x plus 7. Notice what I've done here is I've dropped the parentheses because I've multiplied everything within the parentheses by -3. So what I've done here is I've used the distributive property to distribute the -3. Now we go from step 1 to step 2. So I have -12x minus 21 equals 2x plus 7, and then I go to -14x minus 21 equals 7. So what I've done here is I've gone from having this x on both sides of my problem to having an x on one side. So what we did in step 2 is we moved x by subtracting 2x from both sides. Now in step 3, I went from -14x equals -14x minus 21 equals 7 to -14x equals 28. Notice what I've done here is that I've gone through and added 21 to both sides. So what I've done is I've added 21, and then I go from -14x equals 28 to x equals -2. So to get from step 3 to step 4, I'm going to divide both sides by -14, and that is how I solve the problem. So what is our plan? We're going to review problems that are similar to what's on part 2 of the test. Then you're going to have some time to work on those problems, and then we can answer any questions that you have. So I just wanted to point this out. What do I do differently with 5x when solving these two problems? So this is one of those things, it's one of those common mistakes that I noticed when I was grading some of your assignments. So let's look at these two problems. On the left side, we have 10x minus 8 plus 5x equals 22. On the right side, we have 10x minus 8 equals 22 plus 5x. So what's different here is on the left side, we have the 10x and the 5x on the same side. Okay, so they're both on the same side of the equal sign. Okay, kind of think about the equal sign like being a fence. On the right side, we have 10x and 5x on the opposite side, right? So if we think about our equal side as being a fence, it's on the opposite side of the fence. Well, what's different is when they're on the same side, I'm going to combine like terms, okay? So when I combine like terms, I don't change the sign. This is very important. So I'm going to just put it together like 10x plus 5x, and that's going to be 15x minus 8 equals 22. Here on the right side, when I try to put those variables together, I need to move the x terms, okay? So that means that you're going to actually have to do the opposite operation. Because when we're moving across an equal sign, you have to do the opposite. So I can't combine it as a positive 5x. I'm actually going to subtract 5x from both sides, which will give me 5x minus 8 equals 22. Okay, so now to solve this problem on the left side, I'm going to add 8 to both sides. I get 15x equals 30, and then divide both sides by 15, and so I have x equals 2. On the right side, I'm going to add 8 to both sides, and I get 5x equals 30, and then I divide both sides by 5, and I get x equals 6. Okay, so you can see these are not the same problem because we actually have to do different things when the variables are on the same side than when they're on the opposite side. Okay, so let's now get to the Unit 1 Part 2 test. So this first problem is very similar to what you have on the first problem in your assignment. So it's a multi-step equation with a variable on both sides. So remember, I'm going to use our problem-solving process. So I'm going to start off by distributing. Okay, so I have this 2 in front of the parentheses, so I'm going to distribute the 2. So I get 4x plus 2 times x plus 2 times 5 equals 7x plus 1. So I get 4x plus 2 times x is 2x plus 2 times 5 is 10, and that equals 7x plus 1. Okay, so now I need to combine like terms. So notice on the left side, I have this 4x and 2x on the same side of the equation. So I'm going to put them together, and I'm going to get 6x plus 10 equals 7x plus 1. So now I need to move all my variable terms to one side. On the right side, I have 7x. So remember, when I move them to the other side of the equal sign, I have to do the opposite. Since that's a positive 7x, I'm going to subtract it from both sides. So 6x minus 7x is going to be negative 1x. I have plus 10 equals 7x minus 7x cancels, and then I have 1. Now I need to add or subtract. I have a plus 10, so I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. So on the left side, that leaves me with negative 1x. Plus 10 and minus 10 cancel, and then we have 1 minus 10, which is negative 9. Now I need to multiply or divide. I have negative 1x, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1, and I'm going to get x equals 9. Okay, so now we need to explain what we did in this problem. So we're just going to look back and think about all the steps we did. So we started off by distributing the 2. Right, so then we combined like terms, and those like terms were 4x and 2x. Then we move all x to one side by subtracting 7. Then we're going to subtract 10 from both sides, and what we're trying to do here is isolate the variable. And then we're going to divide by negative 1 to isolate the variable. Okay, because we're trying to get the variable by itself so we can find out what is the value of x. So now in this problem we have an inequality. So let's solve the inequality, and remember to graph your solution when you have an inequality. So remember, the problem solving steps are the same. Distribute, combine, move variables to one side, add or subtract to isolate, and then multiply or divide to isolate. So we're going to start off by distributing. So we distribute and we get 5 times 2x plus 5 times 3 is less than or equal to 30 plus 5x. So 5 times 2x will be 10x plus 5 times 3 is 15, and that's less than or equal to 30 plus 5x. So we don't have any like terms on either side of our equation, our inequality, because the 10x and the 15 can't combine, and 30 and 5x can't combine. So now we're going to move all our variables to one side. On the right side, we have a plus 5x, so I'm going to do the opposite and subtract 5x from both sides. So that gives me 10x minus 5x, which is 5x, plus 15 is less than or equal to 30, and then 5x and minus 5x will cancel. Now we need to add or subtract. I have plus 15, so I'm going to do the opposite and subtract 15 from both sides. So we get 5x, plus 15 and minus 15 cancel, and that's less than or equal to 30 minus 15, which is 15. Now I need to divide both sides by 5 to get x by itself, so I have x is less than or equal to 3. So that less than or equal to, remember, that is going to be a filled in circle at 3. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in that circle, and then I need to shade everything that's less than 3. Well, you can look at two numbers on either side of 3 to figure this out. So do I shade to the left? 0, is that less than or equal to 3? Yeah, it is. Okay, but if I try 6, 6 is not less than or equal to 3, so I'm not going to shade in the direction of 6, I'm going to shade in the direction of 0. So that is why I shade left on this problem. So let's try solving this equation. So this is another multi-step equation with variables on both sides. So I'm going to use my problem solving steps. So we're going to start off by distributing that 6. So I distribute 6, and I get 6 times x plus 6 times 4 plus 2x equals 4x minus 4. 6 times x is 6x, plus 6 times 4 is 24, plus 2x equals 4x minus 4. Now I need to combine like terms on one side of my equation. So I have a 6x and a 2x, so those will combine, and I'll get 8x plus 24 equals 4x minus 4. Now I need to move all my variable terms to one side. So on the right side I have a positive 4x, so I'm going to do the opposite and I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. So 8x minus 4x gives me 4x, and then I have plus 24 equals 4x and minus 4x will cancel, and then I have negative 4. Now I need to add or subtract. I have a plus 24, so I'm going to do the opposite and I'm going to subtract 24 from both sides. So I have 4x plus 24 and minus 24 cancel, and then I have negative 4 minus 24, which is negative 28. Now I need to multiply or divide. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. So I have x equals negative 28 divided by 4, which is negative 7. So let's look at this problem. So this problem, it wants you to find a mistake. It's already solved. So let's follow through and see if we can find where the mistake was made. So we know we're going to use our problem solving steps. And so let's work through this problem. So we start off by distributing. So we get 2x plus 8 minus 8 equals 3x. And then it looks like they combined 10 minus 4 and they got 6. So that's good. Well, I don't want to circle that because that's not a mistake. So 10 minus 4 is 6. That's good. So the plus 8 and minus 8 will cancel. So we get 2x equals 3x plus 6. So far it's good. But then look here. To move all the variables to one side, they subtracted 3x from both sides. Well, when they did that, they got 2x minus 3x, which should be negative 1x. So that is the step where the mistake was made. So I'm going to go ahead and circle that. So now let's work through this problem and solve it correctly. So we're going to use our steps. So let's start off by distributing. So we get 2x plus 2 times 4 minus 8 equals 3x plus 10 minus 4. So 2x is going to be 2x plus 2 times 4, which is 8, minus 8 equals 3x plus 10 minus 4. So now we need to combine like terms. On the left side we have plus 8 and minus 8, which will cancel each other out. On the right side we have 10 minus 4. So we have 2x equals 3x plus 10 minus 4, which is 6. So now we need to move all our variables to one side. So we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. So we have negative 1x equals, here this cancels, and then we have that equals 6. We don't have anything to add or subtract to isolate our variable, so we're going to skip that step. Now we need to divide both sides by negative 1. And so when we do that, we get x equals negative 6, which is the correct answer. So this problem tells us that Lucy has a membership to a music downloading service that charges $20 per month membership plus $1.25 for each song downloaded. How many songs S did she download in July if her total bill is $30? And let's show our work. So we know that she has to pay $20 a month and then $1.25 for each song. And her total bill is $30. Okay, so let's think about it. Her total bill is going to equal her membership fee plus the total cost of downloading songs. Okay, so we know that the membership fee is going to be $20, and then we know that she's going to pay $1.25 for every song, so we can write that as 1.25 S. Her total bill is going to be $30, so we can say that 30 equals 20 plus 1.25 S. Okay, so it wants to know how many songs she downloaded, so we need to solve for S. So that means we're going to do our opposite operations and try to get S by itself in this problem. So here I'm going to start off by subtracting 20 from both sides. So when I do that, I get 30 minus 20, which is 10. So I have 10 equals, and then 20 minus 20 cancels. And so I have 1.25 S. Now to get s by itself, I need to divide both sides by 1.25. And when I do that, I get 10 divided by 1.25, which is 8. So 8 equals